listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out for your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Hello, and welcome, Single Smart Female, to Show 55. I'm your host, Jen Burton, and no surprises here. I'm joined by my co-host, Steph. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jen.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Okay, and also, I'm going to guess that our Single Smart Female listener, Miss Waiting in the Midwest, is also glad that you're here.
I hope so.
So would you do us the honor of reading her question?
I sure will. Hi, Jen and Steph. I met a guy on Match.com. Instant sparks via text and phone, but it takes me a bit to trust a guy before going on a date. And then life got in his way. His grandpa died, and his dad got really sick and then died. So we've never met. In his initial email to me, he said he moved here because his dad was sick and he wanted to help him out. We have this insane connection, but since his dad's passing, he's started distancing himself. I do hear from him, but it's more like every week or two, letting me know he's still interested and trying to keep positive, and he's ready for something. But nothing ever happens. I think it's because it's still hard on him, but he won't completely open up about his feelings. I get it. My question is, how long does it take to properly grieve a parent's death and then want to start dating? He's in his early 30s, happily divorced, about a year, and we have been talking for 3 months. Thanks for any insight you can provide on this. I know it'll be different from person to person, male and female, etc., and I'm sure you'll say, move on, keep your options open. But every time I attempt to, it makes me so sad, because if the shoe were on the other foot, I think he'd wait for me. Some additional information. I'm 41. I have problems dating more than one person at a time. It's just confusing to me. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I have really just been in a few long-term relationships, 7 years, 10 years, and then tried online dating a long time ago, and it didn't work for me. I really am that true Midwestern girl.
Thanks, Steph, for reading that question. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in because there's a lot going on in this question, and I'm going to actually address something that may not be related, but it's a great piece to bring up at this point. So I actually am going to assume that before his father and grandfather passed, that he had already asked you to see you, and maybe you told him that you weren't quite ready yet, which there's nothing wrong with. That's perfect. But in the case that he didn't, I would actually be very concerned about a potential catfishing situation here. And catfishing is not something we talk about often, but it's something that definitely does happen. I don't want you ladies to be paranoid about it, because especially when you use our form of online dating and you do things our way, it happens very, very rarely. And if it does, you're usually out of the situation a lot quicker because you're not waiting in the wings for him for months on end or even years on end. But one of the biggest signs to catfishing is somebody who has this amazing connection with you and chemistry, and they just seem so perfect for you online, but they're never willing to meet you offline. That's a really big sign of catfishing, and that's something we need to bring up, because eventually almost all catfishing people, men, eventually start asking you for money because something happened. They need a little help. He'll pay you as soon as he can, things like that. And I've heard it enough times now to know that it all starts with you waiting on somebody who's catfishing you because you're a true Midwestern girl. Which brings me to my second piece of this. Hey, Steph, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Michigan.
Which makes you?
A Midwestern girl.
A true Midwestern girl?
Well, I mean, grew up in the Midwest, so I would call myself a true Midwestern girl.
I'm going to call you that as well. And I want you, Miss Waiting in the Midwest, to understand as well as all the women out there is I know that the idea of mantourage dating unnerves you. All great things in life unnerve you. It makes you uncomfortable at first until you learn how to navigate the nuances and how to do it for you that really works. But let me give you an example. I had a French client once who came to me and said, "Hey, Jen, I'm French, and the French women are known for their seductive beauty, for their natural sex appeal, for all of that." But she came to me and said, "I can't mantourage date. It doesn't work for me because of the fact," and I'm not going to try to do a really crappy French accent because this could get ugly. She basically told me that, in France, what they do is you just spend time with the guy and then it works out. That's the way it's supposed to be. and essentially another form of just dating one man at a time. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then you grieve for extended periods of time and then move on. So, of course, her resistance, which this is what this is when you call yourself a true Midwestern girl. I just don't like to date. My sister tells me that one often. I just don't like to date. I'm not a dater. It's all your own resistance because trust me, if you're enjoying dating and you're doing it in a way that is uplifting and fun for you, you're going to become a dater. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a great dater. Steph, she's a true Midwestern girl who's a great fucking dater. And I'm a Texas girl who's a great fucking dater. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's a choice of whether or not you want to enjoy the experience and explore the parts that unnerve you, that trip you up a little bit, that keep you on your toes. But the more important piece is to stop using who you are, who you say you are, as an excuse for exploring what you want. And now, how do I know that this is potentially something you really want, mantourage dating? Because you wouldn't be still listening to us at this point. You wouldn't be submitting questions to us. So you can tell me until you're blue in the face and I'll still love you for it, that you're a true Midwestern girl. And I'm going to believe you that you're a true Midwestern girl, but that doesn't mean I don't believe you're a great dater, a mantourage dater at that. So I'm going to call you out on that and say, you know what? Just give it up. I don't buy it. Now we're going to move on to other pieces of your story and some other problems I have with this. And now I'm completely okay. And Steph, I think you would agree if she keeps this man in her mantourage.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
100%.
No
Keep
problem.
talking to him. Let's see. You asked, how long does it take to grieve a parent?
Who knows?
I'm still grieving my mother. She passed away years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm still grieving her. Steph and I were talking the other day and I full out busted out in tears. But there's no set time. There's no rhyme or reason for how long somebody takes to grieve and then how long they can start dating after that. I think you can ask him in a fun way if he would like to meet, and you're more than welcome to keep you in your mantourage. But if he resists seeing you for a couple more months, I would actually probably shorten that time frame, but I'm giving you a couple more months and he keeps refusing to see you, I would equate this one to a potential catfishing situation, and I would walk away from it quickly. Now, other people were going to tell you right away that you should just walk away. I hear you. I hear them. I'm sorry. I hear them. And I understand where they're coming from on that. We're all very apt to just cut men off at the knees and throw them away as fast as we can to try to protect ourselves from heartbreak. But I haven't found that tool to be very effective whatsoever. Women who do this on a regular basis end up hurting themselves in the long run because they're not letting themselves experience what real fun and romance and love can be like. But I understand why they do it. It's a protection mechanism. The other thing that can be a protection mechanism were those excuses that we were talking about earlier. I'm a true Midwestern girl. I'm a French woman. That's just not how we do this. I'm too short. I'm too fat. I'm too busy. I'm too this. They're all our excuses that we use to protect ourselves. And we women are fucking geniuses at finding these excuses and legitimizing them so that we won't get our heart broken. But guess what happens? we all fucking get our hearts broken one way or another, either through loneliness or from that man who finally breaks down your walls and gets your attention, and then you don't know how to handle the dynamics with men, so you end up pushing him away, and then you're devastated, and then you're like, oh, I'm shutting down for romantic business because this shit hurts too much. It all leads to that heartbreak. What doesn't lead to that heartbreak, meaning, okay, I'm not going to say it doesn't ever have heartbreak in it, but what doesn't devastate you, like render you incapacitated, where love doesn't exist in your life, is dating and doing it in a different way. You can still be a true Midwestern girl. By the way, I have a lot of Christian women who very, I don't want to say fundamental Christian, but maybe close to it, who enjoy mantourage dating, because mantourage dating doesn't have to be about sleeping with multiple men. It doesn't have to be about betraying who you are as a woman. It's about exploring your romantic options. And women have always had multiple gentlemen callers. It was just about getting to know them. So the dating piece of it is more recent, but all it is, you going out on a date with somebody is literally you exploring who you are romantically in reference to this person. It doesn't mean that he has to feel you up or you have to make out. It's how you want it to be. So what I wanted like you to do, and all women to do, is to go to mantouragedating.com. And just in case you're a little confused on the mantourage part, how to spell that, that's M-A-N, mantourage, Tourage, dating.com, and go get our free PDF and that answers all of these basic questions so that you're not feeling completely clueless about this. Now, Steph.
Yes.
She said that she thinks that he would do this for her if the shoe was on the other foot. What do you think?
No. And I guess, well, in general, and this isn't true of all men, but in general, most men are pretty comfortable with dating multiple women at one time. And again, they're not, it's not like I know it can feel very, that makes him a player, and that's not it at all. It's not. It's just as Jen said, it's getting to know people in the most efficient manner, essentially. Mm-hmm. And yes, so no, I do not think that he would wait around. I don't necessarily think that he would stop talking to you.
But he wouldn't stop exploring his options, most likely. And that's something, instead of holding that against men, we need to take a page out of their playbook and understand that, life is meant to be lived. If you spend your entire life waiting and set up that cycle of waiting, getting your heart broken, and then waiting some more, you'll meet somebody and it's great for a little bit, then you'll get your heart broke again, and then you have to grieve for several months, and then, life is going to throw all of us curveballs. My mother dying fucking rocked my world. But did that mean that I couldn't have a relationship with my husband? Did that mean I had to stop my relationship with my family? No. And it doesn't mean for men either. They might, take some time to pause. They might have been shaken to their core, definitely. But it doesn't mean just because you guys have an insane connection online that he would definitely wait. And you telling yourself that he will so that you can give yourself a reason to wait is, again, part of those excuses we give ourselves so that we have to play small romantically. I have clients who come to me and they want me to help them get somebody back who's in a serious situation. So, for instance, I have several clients that they're dating somebody who's in the process of divorce, and the wife is taking him through fucking hell and back. And I feel for them. I legitimately do. But these women are wasting away waiting on this one guy as he's trying to figure out his life. You can't fix it for him. Most men don't want you to fix it for them. And I'd be wary of the ones that do, because those type of men can be absolutely exhausting. Most men really want to fix it and be the man of your dreams. They don't want you to do it for them, and you take on a mothering role for them. That's what, most women that come to me who are ambitious women, they're looking for those type of guys, the guys that they can do life with instead of do life for. That's extremely important. So I am completely 100% okay with you including him in your mantourage, but I'm not even asking you to move on as you told me I was going to tell you, which, by the way, I don't appreciate. I don't.
Well, I think that
I do. I know we say those things as a defense mechanisms. I get that because she wanted me to come say something different to her. And I understand that. I know I know exactly what she wants. But of course, I'm not going to encourage you to put all of your eggs in the basket of a guy who he can't reciprocate. And we don't know when he will. Okay. And that you, even more importantly, have never met. That's the cherry on top of all of this, and not the good type of cherry. That's the sour fucking cherry that really gives you ugly pucker face when you try to swallow it. That's really important. You've never met this man. This isn't, you guys have developed this relationship. You've really been there for each other. You know each other online as well as offline. By the way, I actually like spending a little bit more time online, getting to know somebody, and then moving it offline. I have no problem with that. But there's also a limit to it. There's you having to admit that you're letting this guy keep you small romantically, no matter how bad his situation is. You can always tell him, you know what, I really like you. And if he tells you no, he can't meet you soon, I really like you and I really want the opportunity to meet you offline. But I also recognize that you have a lot going on. So when you feel you're ready to come up for air and play, give me a call. And then you turn your attention to your love life, because then you're saying to your higher power, to the world, to the universe, you know what? I deserve to have what I want. When you make it all about somebody else and you focus only on them and neglect everything that you really want, because it's not just about him, it's about you wanting what you want romantically, you wanting that partner that you can grow with, you wanting that insane connection with somebody who can actually reciprocate in person. I know you want all that. You wouldn't be writing us if you didn't. So you're not allowed to neglect that. I mean, you can, but it's not going to serve you in the way that you want. And you never know what actually might happen when you step into what it is you want versus what it is you think he needs. And when you put the attention on what you want versus trying to fix everything for him and make it okay for him to love you versus you loving you. It's like the world's part. It's love happens. It starts to pour down on you and amazing, magical. I'm not fucking kidding when I say magical experiences can happen. I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. Now, Steph, there's one more piece I want to bring up because this brings up a client of mine who, funny enough, is now a sex and relationship coach.
Oh,
she was a former client of mine who I taught her how to date because she did the same pattern. She would focus on somebody, that one guy who she would date for a while when it wouldn't work out. And she didn't have it in her that she could date more than one person. And now she's a sex and relationship coach, which is amazing to me. But when she took my class, The Courage Kit, first thing she did was she resisted me the whole time about online dating. Online dating, one of my favorite ways to date ever. It doesn't have to be the only way you date. I'm not saying it should be exclusively the way you date, but online dating can be fun and it can be a great time. But she resisted me. Boy, she kept telling me no. And then finally she told me, Jen, I can't even figure out how to get online. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I shit you not. Finally, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this for you. And I actually opened the account for her. I set it up for her. And the very next day, she met her now husband. And guess what? It wasn't online. But that shit was not happening until she opened herself up to the possibilities. Quit telling yourself it has to happen only this way because this is who you are. There are lots of possibilities out there that you can have and do in a way that's completely 100% in integrity with you. Mantourage dating is not about defiling who you are. It's about living who you are out loud, romantically, and then you take it to the level that you want to take it to. If you want to end up becoming a sex coach because of it and help women orgasm all over the world, you do it. If you don't, if that's not your thing, you don't do it.
I want to orgasm all over the world.
I do too.
That sounds amazing.
We might be going too far now, but I like it. Hit me harder, Steph. Okay, Miss Waiting in the Midwest. No more waiting. You do you. And if he is meant to be your man, he will step up, but no waiting for him. You more than welcome to include him in your mantourage, but you are not allowed to put your life on hold for him, especially when there's no history to support it.
Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com. Welcome to segment 2 of Single Smart Female. Today, our topic is going to be how to ease into mantourage dating.
I suppose if they're not taking a course with us yet, this would be a good place to give them a few extra tips on how you can do this.
Yes.
It's when you feel really unprepared.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, Jen, you and I are old hat at the mantourage dating regime, if you will. That sounds so strict, doesn't it?
I like it.
But, you know, I understand that there are a lot of women out there who aren't super comfortable with the idea. They may want to try it, but they wouldn't even know where to start. It sounds very scary. And so we should start with like, okay, here's where you can begin as a baby mantourager.
Is that where you mantourage babies? Ew.
No, you're the baby.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, number one, the first recommendation I'm going to give to you, and by the way, there's this first piece has a couple of agendas. So, go to helpmeonlinedate.com and put in your information, and for free, we're going to send you the first 2 video chapters of our program, Irresistibility, which helps women online date. Specifically, the most important piece of it is that it helps you create an online dating profile that leads to offline love and romance. I'm going to tell you right here, the biggest reason women truly hate online dating is because they have no fucking clue what they're really doing. And that all starts with having a great profile. If you have a crappy ass profile, something you just put up there because you were nervous and you didn't know what to say, I'm not surprised when you tell me you have crappy ass online dating experiences. That the two run together. Crappy profile, crappy online dating experiences. So the first part of that, of course, is that I want you to change that experience for you. And this is a great way to start mantourage dating. But there's a second piece of this, a little known part of it. One of the transformations that a lot of my private clients make, and the reason they make this is because we go through this very intricate process of putting an online dating profile together, and they get to see themselves through my eyes, which is a completely different scenario. And then all of a sudden they can start to step into the world of being an adored woman because they finally see what I see through the creation of their online dating profile. In Irresistibility, we start to walk you through that process as you're building your online dating profile. It's unlike any other process out there for putting together an online dating profile. So you can start that by going to helpmeonlinedate.com and start that process. Get the first 2 video chapters. It'll start that process. If you want help going through the entire process, then you can purchase the program. You're more than welcome. But bare minimum, go through the first 2 video chapters and start that process. Start reworking your brain to understand who you are and how valuable you are romantically. It's going to set you up for a completely different experience in dating. Don't you agree, Steph?
Absolutely. It's funny. We don't think about all the things that make us interesting and amazing. And
I do, but that's because I've been doing this for a while.
Right. But that going through this program, actually, it kind of forces you to do that, to see things that you don't normally see in yourself, and then to basically put it out there in a way that is very enticing.
And very seductive to men, yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And another real big reason I think to start there is by getting online, because this is, I mean, either way it's helpful, right? If you're already online and your profile could use a little bit of dusting off, or if you've never done it, go ahead and get started online, because it kind of it gives you a larger pool of
single available men.
Exactly. Who are interested in dating.
Exactly. That's perfect. Now, there's a little caveat to this that Steph and I were discussing and we want to bring up. If you are really nervous about online dating, what the biggest mistake women do is they go directly into the dating apps, which I have no problem with the dating apps. There's nothing wrong with them. But most women are not thick-skinned enough to handle the dating apps. They don't have enough online dating information, the right online dating information to really navigate those apps that doesn't lead them feeling fucking crazy and out of control. You mentioned to me before we recorded this stuff, you really do need some thick skin to navigate those dating apps.
You do. And I love dating apps. I've met a lot of really great men on the dating apps. However, there are some things, and I do not want to go into like bashing dating apps and the people that are on them, because, you know, like I said, it's something that I think is a very useful tool. But there are some things that you do need to develop a thick skin for. The apps are quick. They're very quick, and a lot of people on them are ready for that. They want that instant gratification, and or they get distracted very easily. And
you need to know how to navigate all that.
Exactly.
And it's a lot easier.
And not internalize it.
And it's a lot easier to navigate those type of situations on a site that is not designed for a quick hookup.
Right.
Okay. Number 2, I think it's really important. We've mentioned this in other podcast episodes, but it's really important for you to start putting together your list of fun dates. And you can do this in several different ways. You can go ahead and set a timer for 20 minutes and start listing everything that you think is fun to do. And you can set it in tiers if you like, at different price points, all that kind of stuff. Also, you can pull out the lifestyle section of your newspaper. I'm sorry, I guess nobody does newspapers anymore, do they?
Old Lady Jen hops up with a newspaper.
That's me. All right, so your online newspaper, ladies, forgive me. And
what's a newspaper?
Fuck you, Steph. Fuck you. Go into an online site and you can Google different events for you to do in your town or in the surrounding areas and start to put together a list of them. Some of them can be intricate. Some of them can be very quick, have different time frames, different price points, all different things, but things that excite you and that you're just a little bit interested to do. It's going to set up a completely different scenario, because at some point, as you start dating, a man is going to ask you what you want to do. Your answer should not be ever whatever you want. Okay? As you're developing the skills to mentorage date, it's really, truly important to take the first step and stop being afraid of voicing what you want. Because if you don't learn to voice what you want now, most women think that a man is just going to come along and automatically just ask you, and some men will, but at some point he's going to stop asking because he gets tired of hearing. Yeah, he's not getting an answer from you. So you might as well use this experience to build that muscle. Really, really important. So that's number 2 on helpful hints to ease into mentorage dating. Now, Steph, number 3, this is something I don't think we've really talked about before, but in another episode, we read a fan email we have fans. Can you believe that? We have fans. If you're a fan, let us know. We like it when you tell us you're our fan. Anyways, we got a fan email telling us about one of the things she did, which is brilliant. I don't think I might have mentioned it on an episode before, but I don't think I have. I'm not quite sure.
I don't think so.
But I think a really cool tool to ease into mentorage dating would be to put together a list of past romantic connections, even if they were like a one-time thing or you started talking and it fell apart and it didn't work out. Put a list of those men together, even if maybe you weren't super attracted to them, and practice going on fun dates with them, reconnect with them, reach out to them in a fun, playful way, and go on dates with them. This fan specifically was talking about she started doing that, and then all of a sudden she had 3 dates lined up, because I think that's overwhelming for women. They're thinking, where the fuck am I going to get all these dates from?
Where am I going to find these men to be in my mantourage? You know, and actually, what was great about that woman too, she didn't just have dates lined up; she had a freaking trip lined up with one of these guys.
She did. She ended up getting whisked away on a trip.
I love being whisked away. Just FYI, if anybody wants to whisk me away on a trip,
if they take you, they have to take me. Come on.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess you can come.
Fuck you again, Steph. Fuck you again.
Do you see the abuse that I go through here at Single Smart Female?
All right.
I just spilled my tea.
Oh, don't do that. By the way, if you want to listen to that fan email, you can go to show 53 and listen to it in the second segment. So that brings me to number 4. If you're really serious about your love life, if you're really dedicated to doing it differently, if you hear us while we're talking here to you and something is calling you saying, you know what, I might be scared, but I can't stop listening to these ladies, that is a good indication that yes, Mantourage dating is for you. And we do offer a full line of support for your Mantourage dating experiences at thecouragekit.com, meaning you can come take a class with us and we'll walk you through this shit. We'll help you. We'll be your support system. We'll be there when it's like, Jen, I'm so scared. I don't know how to handle this. And we'll help you handle it. We'll teach you how to do these different things, but we can't do that unless you connect with us in that capacity. It gives us the opportunity. This specifically is a class that lasts about 10 weeks. It gives us the opportunity to dive into your love life specifically. Plus, you're going to be surrounded by women from all over the world who are going through exactly the same thing. And there is nothing better than having a support system of sisters who fucking get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing time, and your romantic courage is going to start to go up exponentially just by being in the class. Plus, you have expert attention on your love life. So, again, if something's calling you, go check us out at thecouragekit.com. You have nothing to lose by checking us out, and you definitely have nothing to lose by joining us. Okay, Lover Girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
Romantically waiting for a man does not guarantee you a happily ever after. It does, however, guarantee a certain level of frustration and potentially missing out on a better romantic option.
This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share Single Smart Female with all of your single girlfriends. And if you would like to play around to learn more about Mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.